Hey friends, welcome back to another video. Today I'm building a house in The Sims 2 from a new world, so let's get into it. So today I'm building the house for the Curious family from The Sims 2, specifically in Strangetown, I think is the world that they lived in The Sims 2. And I'm really excited about this new world. There are a lot of really interesting families, a lot of really interesting builds. So yeah, we are here. I decided to do this in Oasis Springs in The Sims 4. I really went back and forth between Oasis Springs and Strangerville, but I thought, Oasis Springs is a larger world. It's got a little bit more space. I could technically fit all of them in Strangerville, but I wanted to make sure that there was extra space for community lots and other families and things like that. So decided to go with Oasis Springs. And I started building the Curious house on the park lot. I can't remember the name of the park, but because it was kind of isolated, which I liked. However, the lot was honestly too big for this house. And with the there's like that little river there, and there's the cave. I thought there might be too many Sims just kind of populating here, which would be kind of weird for this family. So I decided to move over to Johnny Zest's lot. I move him somewhere else. But that was a really good location, both because it had the more desert look that I wanted for this one, and it was a pretty good sized lot for this house. So this family is really interesting too. So there are three brothers who are living together in this house. There is Glarn Curious, Pascal Curious, and Vikmund, I think Vidkind Curious. They all live together, and then they also have a sister Jenny, who's another character who I'll be making their house as well. But Glarn, two of the brothers have been abducted by aliens. So Glarn already had two kids, who I think I'll be adding to this, I guess, save file or this world as well. But then Pascal is like currently pregnant with an alien child, and then there is a chance for Vidkin to also be abducted and impregnated by aliens. So very, very crazy, very goofy. Very interesting family, and this house is super weird. So it's got kind of like a main house on the first floor, and then there's all these different levels that you've seen me putting together here. And the funny thing is, The Sims 4, it actually doesn't allow you to go as high up as in The Sims 2 did. So The Sims 2 the Sims 2 version of this house actually had more levels, or like an additional level. So that was a little bit disappointing to find out that that limitation is there. So it won't be completely accurate, but very inspired by. And of course, when I do these kind of recreations in The Sims 4, it's not going to be 100% accurate just because there's different items in the games. But I try to be, as faithful as I can to the layout and kind of the energy of the build. But yeah, some things will change. I also kind of personalize the rooms a little bit more in this version, since the bedrooms in the Sims 2 house were, I don't know, they didn't really have much. They all had like a twin bed and like a wardrobe, and that was about it. So I do customize them a little bit later on. And yeah, just kind of finishing up the floor plan, trying to figure out where all the windows need to go. Very strange kind of combination of windows and things. And here's where I switched lots. So now I'm on the lot where Johnny Zest's trailer is. And yeah, just kind of figuring out floor colorings and all of that right now. So with the Curious family, like I mentioned, Glarn, I think he was the oldest. I mean, ages don't really, mean anything in The Sims, but he had twin girls, Lola and Chloe, who are, they're in The Sims 2 as kind of like a family that you can play. They're not in a house yet. They're just kind of like available to place somewhere. So I'd like to build a house for them. And I think their family, it's the two of them plus like two other women. I think it's like a group of women who live together. So I'd like to definitely have them in Oasis Springs. I think that would be cool. And then yeah, Pascal, he's currently pregnant with a child, so I did make his room with like a crib and some toys for a child. But yeah, this house is just really weird. In this kind of living area that I'm doing right now, there were like 3 different desks with like one of them had a computer, and then they had these 2 TVs on the wall. So I wanted to bring that in. The layout is a bit different because I had to do the stairs a little bit differently. But yeah, and then I added in a kind of a play crib here. Yeah. And, you know, obviously these characters are all very obsessed with space. That's why they keep getting abducted. But I wasn't really sure, because I wanted to customize the bedrooms a little bit more. So for one of them, I added in a bunch of different items from the Star Wars pack, like collectibles and things like that. I thought one of them could be like a big Star Wars nerd, and that's kind of what got them interested in space. And then the other one, not Pascal, because his room has like the crib and all of that for his kid. But the other one has some like Strangerville items. Maybe they're kind of interested in that sort of paranormal stuff. In addition to space, I thought that was kind of a good way to kind of personalize each of the different brothers a little bit more, since it's not really clear from the Sims 2 house which room belongs to who, and there's not really anything interesting in either of them. But yeah, they also had this kind of indoor growing room, which is what I'm assuming is, because gardening didn't really work the same way in The Sims 2. But I did add a bunch of stuff in there for that. And then, yeah, they had this weird little room in the front that just had a chess table. So definitely had to make sure we got that in there. It's been a minute since I've recorded one of these, so apologies if I sound a little rushed or whatnot. Yeah, trying to figure out a schedule for creating content has been a little bit more difficult than I expected. But yeah, trying to be a little bit more regular now. Now that things have settled a little bit, I recently moved, so I was very busy with that. But yeah, and then they have this nicely centrally located bathroom right in the middle of the house. So a lot of very interesting colors going on throughout the house. So I try to incorporate as many as I can. For this one, I thought having that like talking toilet made a lot of sense, and with this like more chemical shower sort of thing. And then these lights that I used from, I think, Get to Work, those worked out really well. Not the circular ones. I go back to the other ones. They were a bit brighter, but I use those throughout. They actually lit up the spaces really nicely, even though they're, I don't know, probably like security lights or something. But yeah, this whole house has kind of like a bunker sort of feel. So I wanted to bring that through for sure. And in the Sims 2 version, they have this really weird, I don't know, it almost looks like a maze of concrete just all around the house. So I went through and I recreated that. I think I got it recreated correctly. So yeah, very, very odd. And the landscaping options weren't super great in The Sims 2, so I do end up adding some more things like some rocks and plants and trees, just to make it look a little bit more interesting. But yeah, very, very strange family, very quirky and fun. So yeah. And as you can see, this build isn't very long. Yeah, not really a lot going on here other than the main sort of house. So yeah, it didn't take me very long to put together. I do spend quite a bit of time on lighting because I wanted the whole thing to really be lit up at night. I think that made a lot of sense for this. I added the smaller telescope all the way at the top of those platforms, but then I thought it'd be funny to add the really big, obnoxious telescope that we have that originally came with The Sims 4. Since we didn't get that smaller one until, when did that come out? With the Werewolf Pack, I think, last year. So, but yeah, here I am putting up lighting all around the place. I wanted to, I don't know, I thought it worked for this to add a bunch of lighting everywhere. But yeah, I'm really excited to do the builds from Strangetown in The Sims 2. They are all just so weird and goofy. That's when I think of The Sims, that's the kind of things I think of, or just kind of the weird, wacky sort of builds that they did, and all the kind of funny lore that they created for all the characters. So yeah, I'm really excited to do something really, really weird with all of these. I've also been wanting to get into live streaming, so I'm hoping I can get that set up sometime this month. We'll see. Obviously, my, time management has not been super great lately, so hopefully we will figure that out. But yeah, I also wanted to put in a fence around this. I thought that made sense since they're not quite as isolated. This lot isn't quite as isolated as in the Sims 2 version. So I thought, they'd want some more privacy. And I like the fence that I went with, and I decided to go with a gate that didn't actually match. I thought that worked a lot better, since the matching one was a lot more, I think, like mission style, which didn't really fit into this build. But yeah, I think now I'm just kind of going through and adding in some more finishing touches. I decided to add computers to all of those. They didn't have them in the original version, but I thought it made more sense that they would all have their own computer. And yeah, I'm just working on the landscaping now. Like I said, I wanted to do a little bit more landscaping than they did in the Sims 2 version, just to give it a little bit more visual interest rather than just the sand and the concrete sort of maze. So added in a whole bunch of different kind of deserty plants, which I think worked out really well here. And I haven't quite decided which house I want to do next from The Sims 2. I'm leaning more toward the Smith family, so that would be Jenny Smith, who is also related to the Curious. She is their sister. So she married an alien. There's like a whole bunch of drama there too, so I think that would make sense, kind of finish up continue the kind of Curious family. And then maybe do the singles, which has the kids. But yeah, so here in this bedroom, this is where I'm putting all the Strangerville stuff, some of the different like clutter items and a bunch of different decorations. I thought that made a lot of sense to do. And then yeah, this bedroom will have all the kind of Star Wars collectible stuff. And then yeah, I think that we'll pretty much wrap it up here in just a minute. And I never really have much of an excuse to use the Star Wars pack, so it's kind of nice that they fit in so well in this one. I thought that made a lot of sense, that they would be really into collectibles and have them all displayed and all of that. So I thought that worked out well in here. And then yeah, I think really the last thing that I do is just add a bunch of things for the infant. And that'll pretty much wrap it up, and then I'll leave you with some screenshots. So this is a pretty quick build, but I appreciate you watching, and I will talk to you soon. Have a great day.